I went into this day with almost no expectations. And instead, I left thinking, this may be the best beach day I have ever had in my life.
That's important context because Stephanie actually lived this full day.
For this episode, Ryan is going to help walk us through the day at Discovery Cove.
And asking the questions that people actually want answered. We're really slicing into this property.
Welcome back to One Slice at a Time. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Ryan.
We're travel advisors, and this podcast is where we talk through trips honestly, what works, what doesn't, and who these things are actually for.
And today we're talking about Discovery Cove in Orlando. A full breakdown, no extra toppings we didn't ask for. Okay, just to set things up, Stephanie, Eva, and Kyle did the full Discovery Cove day. I did see some of the spaces the night before at a cocktail event, but it was only brief. And it was very limited. So I'm eager to hear what Stephanie has to say.
Yes, and this is our very first time, but it will not be our last time at Discovery Cove. This is going to be a very much so a start to finish experience. There's going to be no half-baked opinions here.
Already we know right off the bat that it must be good because she plans on going back. Let's start at the beginning though. What time did you arrive and what did the first part of the day feel like?
So we actually had breakfast on property at Disney First in Ohana.
There's no place I'd
And some of
rather
that, that's right. And some of that delicious like pineapple ham and a breakfast cake. I don't know what that is, but it was delicious.
be.
So
On
that's where we
juice,
started
all
our
of
day.
this.
Uh-huh. They open at 7 a.m. at Discovery Cove. I was not going to be there at 7 a.m. In
Oh,
fact, like a lot of things, you can get there and have breakfast, which we'll get to, but we got there around 9:30. We had no problem parking, had no problem finding it. I think that's like a hidden gem because you're just going along and then there's a sign for it. But then like you go in the welcome area and then the whole place opens up as you walk into the trail. Arrival was really easy. They checked us in. They took our pictures. The pictures aren't on your lanyards. They're just for security purposes. And then they gave us lanyards. We had upgraded to a dolphin swim experience and we had also upgraded Kyle and I's to a full bar package for $50 a person if we wanted mixed drinks or whatever. But alcohol, beer, and wine is actually already included with your normal day pass at Discovery Cove.
so the $50 just got you cocktails.
Yes, and they were delicious.
Okay. All right.
The park is very clean and well kept. And I think it surprises you because you take this trail back, Ryan, and then it's, wow, this is actually really big back here.
Yeah, because when we went, I only saw that one spot, but even the people that were hosting us said, like, you're seeing a very small part. This is actually quite large.
Yes. And I loved how when you walk into the park and everything opens up, everything's connected to the main beach area. You could pretty much walk the main beach and get everywhere in the park. They have like trails and stuff to get to things, but everything that you want to do is right there connected together.
So let's talk about your expectations versus reality. What expectations did you have going in and what changed once the day started?
Sure. I expected there would be less to do. I read the map, went over
Yep.
what there was. I just didn't think there was going to be a whole lot to interest us. Maybe the dolphin swim and the snorkeling experience. But other than that, I didn't think that there would be a bunch of stuff for us to do. I expected there would be more sitting and relaxing just because I didn't think there would be as much to do. But I was definitely surprised by the balance of activities and then time to actually rest and enjoy ourselves. And we never felt rushed at all day long, which coming off a week-long Disney trip was a nice change.
You got there kind of late and they closed
Mhm.
early, and yet you still didn't feel like you had to rush to get everything in.
Nope, we didn't even stay the whole day.
You got your $50 worth of cocktails and then hit the road,
Oh, I sure did.
huh? All right. So what was the first thing you did once you got settled?
We found some beach chairs. And guys, they have some amazing cabanas too. And I just didn't even think about booking a cabana. So next time we go, I'm definitely going to get a cabana.
Mm.
But we found some beach chairs and put down our stuff. We changed into wetsuits. It was a nice day, but I like warm water. So we changed into wetsuits that are completely included. You just go up and tell them what size you want and they give it to you. Lockers are completely included. So you can go put your personal belongings away in a locker. Towels are completely included. And then once everything was put away and we were ready to go, we started with the lazy river. And this is no ordinary lazy river. It connects you to so many different areas of the freshwater attractions in the park.
So you put on a wetsuit to go in a lazy
Yeah.
river. That's
Hey now.
that is a
It
flex.
was okay. We just decided to get that out of the way. We knew we would need it later for our dolphin swim.
Yeah.
So it was like the one with shorts.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a full head to toe
Oh, okay.
wet. Or you could do like just like the wetsuit type vest, but you had to have on some sort of wetsuit to get in with the dolphin. So we just started our day that way.
Okay. So my expectations when we talk about Discovery Cove is that this lazy river is like basically worth the price of admission by itself. And you kind
Yes,
of
I would
set it
say.
up that way. Like you said, it's like your perfect beach day, but you're in
Yes.
like central Florida. So it's like you don't really have a beach, but this is like the
Right.
perfect beach day. And tell me more about this lazy river.
So the lazy river, you get in and it looks just like a swimming area. And there is a bar that sits right there. And
Of
there's
course there is.
actually, yes, of course there is. And we'll get into more of the food and drink guys, but I was really blown away with the drinks and the service and the availability of snacks. Like all the snacks are included, but we'll get to that. We get in the area where it's just like a swimming area and they have like foam pool noodles that you take with you. You don't have these huge rafts or inner tubes that you use on the lazy river. And they're like, oh, go this way through the caves and
Yeah.
there's like a big cave. And the current, even though it's connected to the big pool, takes you all the way through the lazy river. And there is an area where you can get in the lazy river. And if you follow one path around, you can see the otters. And there's a monkey island that's all interconnected. But the thing that really like stood out to me and I was not prepared for, the lazy river goes through the aviary. So Discovery Cove has this huge aviary with all these tropical birds. And you go through these big waterfalls and then like you go through one big waterfall and then you're in the aviary and there's birds, there's macaws, there's all this kind of like wildlife all around you and you can feed the birds. And there's actually everywhere there is something to do, a set of stairs. So you could get out the stairs and you just had your pool noodle. So you could just put it on the stairs, get out, even got a little cup of stuff and we fed some birds and then we grabbed pool noodles and got back in the lazy river. But that was so surprising to me. I was not expecting the waterfalls obviously keep the birds from flying out of the aviary,
Yeah.
but you go through these waterfalls, huge aviary, like just amazing greenery, amazing wildlife and fauna. And then you come back through another waterfall and you're back out in the other part of the lazy river.
So with the aviary, I mean, you just kind of briefly talked about some of the birds,
Mhm.
but like you said, macaws, and you said you're
Mhm.
feeding. Like macaws are big birds. And
Right.
they just
I
got
will
really close
say
to you and stuff?
the first ones were like on a perch together.
Yeah.
There were four that we seen. Two were on a perch together as you came in, like on the other side where you wouldn't be able to get to them. And the macaws that were near the walking path were set back enough
Okay.
that you wouldn't even think to feed them. And there was a big sign that said, please do not feed the macaws. So
I
I
was
think
just
they're pretty
thinking
well.
about these macaws are like giant birds and they're diving down.
Yeah.
That's what I
No.
had imagined. And I'm like, this
Oh, thank
sounds more
God.
like a pterodactyls in Jurassic Park situation going on.
Thank God you did not feed the macaws. They stayed where they were supposed to stay. And macaws are pretty well trained birds when they have them in
Yeah.
those type of situations.
They didn't dive
Swoop
bomb you.
down and
Can't believe this lazy river goes through the aviary.
it was amazing. I think I just wasn't expecting it. I just thought it was a waterfall. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to get
Yeah.
drenched, right? Get on the
Right.
other side and Kyle's, look to your right. And there are literally two macaws like making out.
Making a
And
family.
they're like right there.
So lazy river sounds incredible, but another thing that people go to Discovery Cove for is the snorkeling. So let's talk
Yes.
about that. What surprised you about that?
I was not expecting there to be so many fish. Like, they have this huge array that's probably bigger than my whole U-shaped desk. They had, like, just so many types of fish. And it's a huge area to snorkel. It's not like this tiny little bit, okay, here's a path to snorkel and you get out. Even though there was a lot of people in there was still like a lot of room and a lot of things going on. The fish were used to you and got super close. They had, like I said, a bunch of rays. They had an area where they kept the sharks, but the glass, I don't know, it was angled. So you could almost swim up over the sharks, but the glass was still underneath you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love to snorkel. It's just one of my favorite things to do on vacation. I find it super relaxing and I could have stayed in there for a long time.
Just one thing you mentioned was that if there was a lot of people in there, but there couldn't have been
Mhm.
too many because Discovery Cove is capacity controlled at a really low
Yes.
number. So there's not a
Yeah.
ton of
And
people in the park in any one day.
no, it isn't. There were so many people in there that you couldn't move around or you couldn't. And I think I only got kicked with one kid's foot and it was probably my own kid.
Most likely.
And guys, like, it's amazing because all the gear is included. So we just walked up. They make you wear a full on life jacket when you're snorkeling. They had those for everybody. They had snorkeling gear for everybody. You really do not need to bring anything with you at all. Your ID to
Including
get
a
your pass, and that's it.
including a swimsuit because you're putting on this wetsuit, right?
Yeah, other people have been in a wetsuit. There was definitely a swimsuit underneath that wetsuit.
All right. So the main attraction at Discovery Cove is the dolphin interaction. And I know it's
Mhm.
an upcharge to do, but certainly anybody that I would send to Discovery Cove, and I'm
Mhm.
sure anybody that you would send to Discovery Cove, as long as the kids meet the age and weight limits, this is the thing to
Yes.
do, right?
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
So not super like you don't have to be a teenager or 6.
right.
And
They can't get
pro
that
tip here,
cocktail drink package, right?
no, unfortunately.
Okay.
um, but pro tip, the dolphin, when you buy a dolphin package, it includes your day pass. You don't have
There,
to buy a day pass and your dolphin swim. You buy one ticket for the dolphin swim, and that price includes your day pass. Before you go look at the website, you're like, oh my gosh, it's this much to get in and this much more for dolphins. No, the dolphin experience includes the whole admission.
good thing for people to know.
No, exactly. So you get in, they take you to a video screen and you watch like how to interact with the dolphins and everything. I have never swum with dolphins before. And here is another cool thing. You can sit on the beach and just watch the dolphins. And I think you experienced a little bit of this,
Yeah,
but the
it was dark.
dolphins in this section in front of the beach and they're out there playing and swimming. And so it's a cool experience just to sit and watch the dolphins, even if you don't get in the water with them. Then we watched a video. We went ahead and got into the water. There were 2 dolphin trainers that got into the water with us and a photographer. And we were doing our dolphin experience. And there was somebody like across the other way that was doing one and one closer to the beach that was doing one. But they have it built up so you can walk almost like a U, and then they can bring the dolphins to the trainers and you can interact with the dolphins that way. We did a few things with our dolphins, gave it some commands, all of this stuff. Then you got to go up and touch the dolphin, take a picture, put your hands out, and the dolphin would like give you a kiss on the cheek type
That's
situation,
cute.
take a picture. It was super cute. I will say our dolphin interaction went a little awry because it was like the dolphin we had, his name was Natalie. I'm supposed to remember that. Natalie, but her friend was over interacting with another group of people. And not once, but twice, Natalie's best friend came over to check on her.
That's cute.
So we are standing on the ledge, and here comes this big dolphin. And the dolphin trainer like sees her coming, and she's like, back up because the dolphin would have knocked this right over.
Right. Yeah.
And she like swims around and like checks us out to see who Natalie's hanging out with. And then she went back over to her trainer and did a few more things. It was just very interesting because our dolphin trainer that was interacting with us, she kept trying to watch the other dolphin to make sure that she wasn't coming over our way again.
Got it.
So it
You
was
felt safe the
very,
whole time?
oh yeah, I felt safe. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
It
I
was
wasn't
just
sure
like,
that Natalie's friend sounds like a bad girl.
I said they'd seem more like frenemies because they were definitely like checking each other out. What are they doing? What are they doing? So it was a whole social interaction going on that we just got to watch. After that, I think the highlight of the whole thing was you got to glide with the dolphin. So one hand on the dorsal fin and one hand on the side fin. And then they pulled you along and brought you in a half circle. So you got to,
Sounds so
everybody
cool.
got to, yeah, to swim with the dolphin. And it was very educational as well. They taught us about how they take care of the dolphins and each one's personality and all of that. It was an amazing experience. It took us about an hour. Like you get
Really?
in, do 3 things, and get right back out of the water. No, it was about an hour's worth of interaction with the dolphin.
Pretty good. That's pretty good value, I would say. An hour is,
Yeah.
sometimes you do these premium experiences like this and it's like, 10, 15 minutes.
There's,
That's pretty good. An
yeah.
hour, I think.
And
Yeah.
there was 8 of us. So it wasn't like 20 people. So there
Okay.
was 8 of us interacting with each dolphin at our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Eva love it?
She loved it. I think she was a little nervous,
Yeah.
but she definitely
Yeah.
want to do it again when we go back. She
Okay.
had lots of questions for the trainer.
Was she the right age, or do
So,
you think younger is okay too? Because like we said, six
right,
is the youngest that you can do it. Eva's
right.
9.
I would say make sure your kids are good swimmers, only because they'll feel much more comfortable in the water, even though most of the time they're able to stand. To make sure they're good swimmers so they're not scared of being in the water. And there was a girl that was with her parents that was younger than Eva, and she was a little bit nervous. And I think that it made our dolphin Natalie, I think it was making her a little bit nervous because there was a few times that we like stopped what we were doing and just took a break for a minute and talked about some stuff. And then we went back into the interactions, like going up and touching her and giving her a kiss and stuff like that. Make sure your kids are comfortable around animals and that they swim well. And I think that they would be fine for this experience. A quick pause here because this Discovery Cove is not just, something you're just like, oh, let's go do it. It's one of those experiences that how it fits into your overall Orlando, Disney World, Universal trip, that really matters.
Planning is what keeps the whole thing from falling apart.
That is exactly right. And so when we plan Discovery Cove for clients, we're thinking about timing, rest days, cruise add-ons before or after, or part of the bigger Orlando trip.
Right.
Speaking of how me and Ryan hold your vacation together as your trusted travel advisors, it is time for Ryan's Crusty review.
Discovery Cove and the SeaWorld park that is in Orlando is right next to Mellow Mushroom. Stephanie, have you ever eaten at a Mellow Mushroom?
I have not.
It is a chain, and it can be found
Okay,
pretty much across the country. But
right,
it's not like they don't have the same number of locations as Pizza Hut or something like that.
right.
But it is like a sit-down restaurant where you go in. There's a full bar, which you can tell from this episode is important to Stephanie. And obviously, it's like that. It's got like that 70s hippie type vibe going on. That's the Mellow
Okay.
Mushroom. When I'm in that area, and sometimes that when I go up to Orlando, I stay in that area. I do tend to go over there for lunch once or twice throughout the week
Mhm.
because Maggie will be working through, she'll have meetings through lunch, and I need to get out of the hotel room. So I go over to Mellow Mushroom and have lunch. And I think it's a pretty good spot for that. They have some lunch deals where you can get a couple of slices and a
Mhm.
salad. That's nothing I ever go for because I just get the pizza, like the full pizza.
What's a salad?
I have a quota on salad. I have to have at least one a month. Mellow Mushroom, if you haven't been, is a pretty good spot, and it's really close to Discovery Cove. The pizza probably tends to be a little puffier than what you might always like, but you can completely customize the pizza, the toppings, and everything like that.
Mhm.
The sauce is good. The vibe is there. They're like these rolls that you can get as an appetizer. It's basically like having pizza for your appetizer and then pizza for your entree. So, it levels up for there. Probably a 6 out of 8. But if you need your fix and you're staying out by SeaWorld, this is a place that is an easy win. It's quick. It's great.
Good to know. I'm going to have to go hit it up. I don't think I've been to a Mellow mushroom yet.
You would, because it, like I said, got that 70s hippie type vibe going on. And there's a bar.
To go find one.
Maybe you would.
Maybe I would. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
Okay.
So while we're talking about food and drinks, let's
Yeah.
talk about Discovery Cove food and drinks.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Sure, let's cover it. Breakfast and lunch is absolutely included. And this isn't like, here's a hot dog and a bag of chips. They had salmon on the menu. They had rice on, like they had this full spread. They did have the hot dogs, chicken nuggets, cheeseburgers, French fried stuff for the kids. But then they had salads and grain bowls and lots of options for lunch. I can't really speak for breakfast. They were serving it still when we arrived because it was like until 10 or something like that. They were serving breakfast. So we didn't go in and get anything. The one main restaurant in the middle of the park is where they have the lunch set up. It was right in front of where we had our cocktail hour. That is where.
Is it like a buffet or is it like counter service?
It's a buffet, but they have it plated and you just grab what you want.
Okay. As I understand, the breakfast is like a full breakfast too. Like it's not just continental breakfast.
Yeah, it looked like it was quite a bit of things.
Yeah. Okay.
And the food was really good. I really can't complain about the food at all. So,
that's really good.
Yeah.
So that takes care of sort of breakfast and lunch. But what about the snacks? Because snacks are included too. And you can't go all day without those.
No way. And when you are trying to get the most out of your drink package, you definitely need to stick to snacks as well.
Fair. Okay.
Fair, right? So snacks all day. They were near the bar areas. There are two main bars, one on the freshwater side, one in front of like where you swim with the dolphins on the saltwater side. Both had incredible, great customer service. They had pizza at the one over at the saltwater side. They had that all day long. They were making pizza. They were out of pepperoni. And it was like, can I get a pepperoni? Yes, they made her one. And here's a pepperoni pizza. Yes. In addition to that, there was ice cream. There were fresh, hot chocolate chip cookies, churros, pretzels, and they were just out for the taking. Now, the churro pretzel stuff was over by the freshwater area with the pizza over on the other side. And then, of course, soft drinks, waters, juices. They had bags of chips. They even had like bags of healthier type snacks out, and you could just grab what you wanted.
So was this lazy river more of a pub crawl?
No, it was not. Because it only connects to one bar. And you cannot take drinks with you except for one small section of the freshwater pool. They actually have some chairs and stuff sitting in the water. And so you could take drinks into that section of the freshwater pool, but the main freshwater pool can't take your drinks in.
So what about the beer wine selection? What can you say?
Sure. They had several different beers on tap, and I didn't catch like what type of wines people were just ordering. I want red wine. I want white wine. So it wasn't like they had a big selection. It was just red or white. And I'm sure that the beers were probably just the ones that they had on tap that were included with your ticket purchase if you were over 21.
You could also get, let's just say you're 9 years old. You could get soda, water, drinks, juice, that kind of stuff.
Yes. All kind of things. Yes. And those were just out and self-serve. So you did not have to wait in a line at the bar to get a drink. If you were a kid, you could just self-serve. So Eva was coming up with all kinds of concoctions. She made some sort of ice cream float fiasco.
Good for her.
Yeah.
When you think about value for the day, though, I mean, like all these snacks, all these drinks, breakfast and lunch, it feels like a really good value.
I feel like it is a great value. I actually caught our tickets on a Black Friday sale, and I know that I paid maybe around $100 a person plus our added drink packages. And that was an incredible deal for everything there was to do. And everything that's included, guys, towels, wetsuits, free lockers, snorkeling gear. Like they even had sunscreen. So it's show up, show them your ID, have your ticket bought, and they give you a lanyard, put the rest stuff in the locker. It is the easiest day.
All right. You did not have
Mhm.
breakfast at Discovery Cove, Ohana. Eating breakfast at Ohana costs about $70. And you went to
Oh,
Discovery
yeah. I
Cove
think
for
breakfast
100.
at Ohana probably cost us more.
Yeah,
The
that's what I'm
breakfast at
saying.
Ohana was probably close to the same amount as I spent for the whole day.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
yeah,
was thinking. Is that shows you the value. Like if you stayed at Disney that whole day,
yeah,
you would have spent way more money. So, all right. So, in terms of, I know we've covered it probably in, we've probably covered this in
hmm
total, but I think just one section of the show where we say, here's all the things that are included. You mentioned
sure.
towels, you mentioned your wetsuits, the
hmm
snorkel gear,
Snorkeling gear,
lockers.
breakfast,
Yeah,
lunch, all of your snacks, soda, juice, water, ice cream, all of those things, and then
pizza.
beer and wine if you're over 21.
Yep.
They had fresh fruit out even, guys, so it isn't just junk food. It
Yeah.
have some more healthier options.
I mean, tons of inclusions.
Right.
You mentioned that cabanas are not included and you didn't do one.
Yes.
Would you always
Mm-mm.
recommend that people do it?
I feel like if we go during the summer in Orlando, I'm going to want a cabana to have some shade. So the regular
Makes
beach
sense.
chairs, there's not a whole lot of shade. We were there in January. It was a beautiful, like 80-degree day in January, but I was happy to get a little bit of sun. But if we're there during the summer, I'm definitely getting cabana. They had a couple of different sizes of cabanas. The ones right on the main beach were like two padded chairs that were together and had like a whole daybed type situation. And then they had bigger family cabanas for like groups. And they were kind of like tucked back in certain areas. So they were very private. You couldn't see into the cabanas. There was like a little pathway. I'm like, oh, there's a cabana back there. So they were nicely hidden and dispersed throughout the park.
When I go on a cruise and I hit one of these private islands, I love a cabana, especially if there's wait staff bringing you food and drinks. Was
And
that the
they did
case at
that.
the cabana? They did.
Yes, I did see people coming and going from the cabana, and they keep everything right there for your locker, and everything is right inside the cabana. Even if you're going with a multi-generational group, grandma and the
Yeah.
little ones might need a nap during the day, especially after swimming.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
this
gonna
would be
say
a great
grandma.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
and Stephanie, after about 3 or 4 more mixed drinks, and ready for nap time.
Who should not go to Discovery Cove?
If you're not a beach person, don't do this. If you
Yeah.
don't like to snorkel, if you don't like to be in the water, or if you're going with a big group and they're making you go, get a cabana and you can hang out in the cabana. Like,
Pro tip.
but
Yeah.
if this is not your idea of a nice, relaxing day, then don't do it. Or you are I think this is very budget friendly, but if you're planning a big, long Disney trip and cost is a constraint, then this is probably not an add-on you want to do. Without the sale, I know that it's closer to a couple $100 per person. We got a great sale, but this is not a very cheap experience, worth it, mind you. But this is going to be like adding another park day at Disney for your group,
Yeah. Yeah.
cost
But
wise.
what you could do is if you're one of those people that is like going back and forth between should I get a value resort at Disney or should I get a
hmm
moderate resort at Disney? Maybe you go with the value resort at Disney and then you add on Discovery Cove as your resort day, so to speak.
I
Yeah.
think it's a great relaxing way. And I think this is perfect for anybody that's doing a week at Disney and wants a day break.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you've got a longer Epic Universal vacation planned and you want a break day, this is perfect. If you fly in early, you can go to Discovery Cove and spend the whole day relaxing on the front end or the back end of your cruise.
That's a good
So,
idea. The other thing is people ask me a lot of times like, I've got this Disney vacation planned, but can I add on some Universal time? I always tell them that I think Universal is the best value for Universal is if you do it as a separate vacation. But I
yes,
think people are a little hesitant because they don't feel like they can get a full week out of Universal
right,
parks. Well, here you go. You
right.
do 3 days at Universal, basically commit a day
Or
to each
4,
park.
whatever
Say
you
you
need
do
to do. Yeah,
say you do 3 days there, you do a Discovery Cove, and like it changes up your whole experience for the week.
it
Universal is
does.
very ride heavy, attraction heavy, and then you throw in
hmm
Discovery Cove, which is just like, let me chill out for a bit.
It's just, for the day.
Yeah.
This was the perfect way to spend our last day of vacation. Like I said, we were in Disney. We went from Universal to Disney. This last day was just the perfect cherry on top for our vacation.
So you'd put it at the end.
Yes. I would
Okay.
put it at the very end and just be like, oh, that was a relaxing vacation. I went to Disney and did all the things and walked 20,000 steps a day for 5 days straight. And now I've had this nice relaxing day, and it changes your whole outlook. When you come back to work, you don't feel like you've walked 20,000 steps a day at Disney.
One more logistics question on this, because I just had an
Yeah.
idea here. Let's say you have a late night flight out on your last day.
Mhm.
You don't want to do another Disney park day.
This is
You could
perfect.
go to Discovery Cove. Do they have showers and
Mhm.
stuff so that you can like
As
go to the
oh,
airport without
absolutely.
feeling
And that's what I was gonna say. You could definitely, and they'll hold luggage. So don't
nice?
worry about that. If you were checking out and headed to the airport but wanted to spend some time, come here, swim with the dolphins. They had like full on showers with the soap and everything was there for you to use. It was perfect.
Is it worth it?
I think I've answered this, but yes, for us, it's definitely worth it. And next time I'm going to report back to make sure those cabanas are worth it. But we will be adding the Discovery Cove on all of our busy trips and possibly anytime we're going to Florida to hop on a cruise.
That's awesome. And if you're wondering if it's your trip, that's a conversation worth having with one of us if you haven't already figured it
Sure.
out from here.
That's right. All of our info is in the show notes. So reach out. We'd love to help you plan your Central Florida vacation and include Discovery Cove if it's right for you.
Next week on One Slice at a Time, we're going to talk about everything that goes into a group trip on Norwegian Cruise Line.
Cannot wait for that one. Ryan is a specialist in group travel, guys. So if you guys have a group that you want to get together, reach out to Ryan. He is an absolute pro at putting together amazing group trips. But Ryan, right now, I might have to go find Mellow mushroom for dinner. What are you having for dinner?
Well, I'll meet you there.
All right, sounds good. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.